listening to Gen Talk. Go. We in the jungle, baby. Number one. Prom dummy.
You know the vibe. This that gin talk. This that gin talk. This that sit down gin to make you zen talk. This that gin talk. This that gin talk. This that take a shot gin my best friend talk. This that gin talk. This that gin talk. This that sit down gin to make you zen talk. This that gin talk. This that gin talk. This that take a shot gin my best friend talk.
Welcome to the Gen Talk Podcast. It's your boy Trav. Mike not with us right now. Shell's not with us right now. Groovy Jew might be joining, but tonight we're joined by Mr. Jason Stubbs, marketing guru. So you're gonna introduce yourself.
Hey, thanks, Travis. Thanks for the introduction. I wouldn't call myself a guru, but I am I'm a challenge consultant, customer acquisition strategist. What that means is, everybody has an idea. Everybody has an idea how business can be done better. How many of us been in situations where, we're standing in line and we're telling people at the store, that's not how you should do it. That's not how you should treat me. I'm the customer. The customer's always right. Sometimes they are, sometimes they aren't. But I have over 10 years of sales experience. I've always been that helpful person. I always knew a little bit more because I took the time when I sold cars, for instance. I knew what was coming up before any of the other salespeople did. I took the time to read the manuals and stuff because I always thought about it from what would I do? That was something that was instilled in me from a young age is treat others how you want to be treated. And I felt that, people were going to be spending money. They want to know as much as possible. So that's where I got started. And a couple of years ago, so where the challenge consulting part, everybody's online doing webinars, doing VSLs, doing this mastermind, this masterclass. I met my mentor in 2020, and he basically turned the game around. He took the live event model and just, exploded it. I don't know what other word to use, but he used that live event model called a challenge, which is a short time limited event, where you get people together live, you get them to engage, get them to talk about their, what they want to learn, what their shortcomings are, what they're, everybody's there for the same purpose. And then, you get people, get them going, it's a challenge. You get that competition, you get that camaraderie, you get that, that support, everybody's going through something at a different stage, in the process, but they're all there for one purpose. So he's used that to make over $31 million in the past 3 years. And even more than that, one thing I love about my mentor, and you see this with a lot of entrepreneurs in general, they want to give back. But if you think about how much he's made and how much his students have made, he has people who consistently generate, 5 to 6 million a year, using this strategy. He's partnered and consulted with some of the top names in the business, Damon John, Tony Robbins, and a few others. So, when I connected with this guy, he had a heart to serve. How many wealthy people would give you a couple of hours of their time for free? But my mentor gave exactly. He gave 30 days, and I'm like, what? I want to be like him. So, following his footsteps, learning his strategy. I'm one of the only people, about 150, 200 people worldwide, being certified in his method to teach. So, it went well with my desire to help customers because, it sucks when you have a problem on Monday, but you can't get back to somebody until Friday. You know what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying.
Exactly. So this model fits because when you get together with entrepreneurs, and that's what I do, I host these live events. 3 to 5 days. We get together for a few hours. We actually talk about what's going on right now. You get instant feedback, you get support, you get encouragement, you get to try stuff before you buy it. There's an extended warranty, I guess you could say. You have 5 days to try it out plus support. And so I love that, because it's not just one of those things, you know how when we buy the shoes, you got to take them all the way home, because we don't try them on in the store, right?
Nah, not for the most part. Most people don't.
Exactly. You got to try them on at home, make sure they're the right color, make sure the outfit, everything else you got fits, you know what I'm saying? And then you wear them. But with this business model, you try it before you buy it. That's the beautiful thing about it. We get together, we connect, we laugh, share, cry, and I just love it. So yeah, I'm a customer acquisition strategist that uses challenges to help local businesses increase their visibility, value, and volume, so they don't have to offer discounts. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Cool. So when doing that, I know we discussed this before, like in this day and age, like people people, how can I put it this way? People all figure they already got the right answer. So when you come in, tell them like, well, you can be doing this if you do this. Like, a lot of people don't like, they take it as hating, but it'd be constructive criticism. How you deal with people in that sense?
Yeah, that's a great question. First off, like I said, as a consultant, as a coach, it's not my job to tell people exactly what they need to do. Coaches, their job is to bring the best out of people. Their job is to see what talent their players have. Again, let's look at sports coaches. I'm sure we've all played sports and know somebody who has. The coach didn't get out there to play. He didn't get out there to make us run. He didn't take our reps for us. We had to do it. But, they were that motivating voice.
Mm-hmm.
So it's more of a partnership. It's more of working with people, who say, hey, I got an issue, or I'm not sure what's going on. Can we talk about it? And we work on it together. We work on a plan. And don't get me wrong, in my experience, everything will work. There is any strategy you try will work if you work it consistently. But I think what happens a lot of times is, and I'm guilty of it myself, as business owners and as people in general in our relationships, anything we do, those old habits are hard to break.
Yeah, they are. We get comfortable with them, and like you said, like I tell anybody, even with this, we do podcasts, and like how to like they say, most shows don't last over 7 shows, and a big part of it is because not being consistent. Like, you got to consistent with, even when like you got to put something out. Like, being consistent outlasts. It'll put you in the area you can have longevity for a long time if you just be consistent.
Exactly. Yeah, and I will say, I've dealt with that as well. So, and that's another thing about it is being a real person. That's something that I've realized in the past 6 months to a year. That guru has turned into a bad term. It's kind of turned into what do you call it?
Scammer word.
What's that?
A scammer word, because a lot of scammers use the guru.
Exactly. And so it has somewhat of a bad connotation, but because again, there's a lot of people who could front for a while, and now don't get me wrong. Like I said, because some people, when they know their place, some people are motivators, that their job is just to cheer you on. But I think it's when they step out of their lane, because that's happened before. I'm actually in a group of marketers that talk about a couple of people who are out scamming people, and they know it, but there's nothing you can do about it because they do just enough to make it by,
Yeah, like they can, just like somebody fishing, like, hey, put a little bit on, they just want to take that bait. If they keep nibbling, eventually they're gonna bite.
Exactly. So, but and that's, I guess, part of my call as well. You and I have talked before. because a lot of this information is available online. So, I mean, I'm not sharing anything that people don't know and can't have access to. Is just that, again, you get with the coach. We pay for speed. You know what I'm saying? Like I tell people, for instance, let's say we wanted to get from where we are to California. There are many ways to get there, but the more you pay, the quicker you can get there.
Exactly.
You know? So.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Just like you said, the information's there, but I think, like you said, people don't either want to pay or have fear against scammed, or but it just like a lot of people just lazy, don't want to do the research. So
Right.
like when he come in, like you say, you help like small business. So when trying to get small business who don't really have that much of a resource yet, how can what is your best effective way to get those small businesses to buy in?
Yeah. Another great question, man. I appreciate it. But between this interview and your post, man, on Facebook, boy, you keep me going.
Appreciate it.
I think about that analogy. We've all been on a plane before, right? Or we heard, the story when the flight attendants, every time they do a safety briefing, the first thing they tell you is, in case of emergency, you take care of you put your mask on first, right? In case there's a loss of cabin pressure, you put your mask on first. So that's one of the points I try to get across and try to help entrepreneurs with is, take care of your mask. Take care of making sure when an emergency comes up, you can take care of yourself before you take care of somebody else. And so what that means is finding the small things you can do right in front of you to make it work, to make your advertising work, to get more results. And it really is, it's a simple process, but it's hard to do, because again, exactly. It's when you get into that routine, and entrepreneurs, I mean, look at yourself when y'all started this podcast. You had an idea that you wanted to help other people. You could help other people.
Yeah.
And, I'm sure y'all think about it at least 2 to 3 times a day, if not per week. If we can just reach that one person, we're going to keep going because somebody else needs to hear this. Exactly. And that's what, that's what entrepreneurs, that's what people, what I'm gonna say, that's what entrepreneurs are, innovators, the movement makers, you know what I'm saying? The people who make things happen, that's the way we are. We want to help people. So I think entrepreneurs get caught up because it's easy to say, hey, I want to help everybody. You know what I'm saying? And so the limited resources you have, again, it's easier to cut a pizza, 5 ways, 8 ways, instead of 16 to 20. So if you think about that, and the more ways you cut it, the smaller the slices get, the lower level of satisfaction people have, and the more hungry they are after the fact. So that's one of the things I try to tell people, entrepreneurs, is stop trying to cut your pizza so small. You know what I'm saying? Stop trying to serve everybody. You only got one pizza. Yeah, if you could, ideally, if you could just give your entire pizza that you made to one person, I mean, think about it. How many times we've been somewhere? I know in school, when they have the parties and stuff after practice, the pizza parties and stuff. If you could take a whole pizza home, you thought you were doing something.
Yeah, so
but then you have to split it. Your brother show up or your cousin or somebody, and then you like, then what? Then you like, okay, you're gonna be nice and share, and then you be thinking, what? I hope they don't take the big piece. Don't take the big. No,
don't take the big slice.
Exactly. See, and so that's what I think happens with a lot of entrepreneurs is we want to help. We spread ourselves too thin. You know what I'm saying? We cut up the pie too much. And what ends up happening is nobody's satisfied, because you try to stretch yourself too thin. So yeah, that's the first bit of advice I tell people. Again, it's simple, but it's hard to do because you want to help everybody.
And I always say this too, especially like when reaching people. It ain't about the number of people you reach, it's about the right people you reach. So you can, like say, Ben, you can have a million or 2 million followers, but you only selling to 100 people. But you can have 100 followers, but you selling to 6 people.
Right.
What is more effective?
Exactly.
Like
Exactly.
a lot of people get caught up in the numbers. It's not necessarily the numbers. It's like who you hit. Like you can hit those 60, they can tell another 50. And keep going on and on.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I think there is some, okay, if you're talking about the actual numbers, like an actual 10 people, or let's say a unit, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's say 10 sales, for instance, equals 1 unit, let's say.
Yeah.
So for albums and stuff like that, yeah, it's a little bit different. The scale, downloads and stuff like that. But yeah, you still would rather have a smaller, like you said, dedicated.
Audience.
Exactly. So yeah, you don't want people to think, well, I'm a musician and I need to sell albums. Yeah, you need downloads and stuff, but you still want the people downloading it to be the people who, I mean, they're going to want you to write, get your name tattooed on their arm, their forehead. You know what I'm saying? That you want them to be the people that are going to name their kids after you, that's going to dress them up as you as Halloween. Those are the people you want.
Fall out at tours and sell out arenas and stuff like that.
Man,
yeah.
Hey, Michael Jackson, Prince, right? I mean,
yeah.
And you still get people ragging on him, saying Prince wasn't as good as he was, Michael Jackson wasn't. But look, they had enough people.
Yeah, they got enough people. That's all it takes. And like that's how I think when I'm marketing something, like putting something out. Like I know since we've been started, we done built a dedicated audience. Like no matter what we put out, you're already gonna reach these number of people. It'll be good if we always tend to reach more people, but I feel like as long as we reach this core, we can continue on. Like even like for small business, as long as you got your core customers or your core audience or whatever, they're gonna keep you going until you reach the next step.
Right. And see, that's one of the beautiful things about digital marketing, which is where everything I am I guess you call it digital first marketer. I don't know if I made up the term or not, but I believe in social media. I believe in paid advertising. Again, you can either walk or you can fly. And even then, you can either fly on a commercial jet or you can fly that charter jet. Again, each one's going to cost you more, but the level of service, a charter jet, a private jet is smaller. It can get into more specific locations. You know what I'm saying? Some places you can land a private jet in the backyard. You can't do that in a 747. So that's the way I explain to people, when it comes to advertising. You can go commercial, you can do what everybody else is doing and sit. Yeah, they got first class on a jumbo jet, but you still on that same big, huge jet. You got to go where everybody else goes. Or, you can spend a little bit more, which is what happens when they go with me. And or people like me, you have the private jet, you have the private experience. We're there for you. Now, and let me say this, when I say spend, I mean, give me the money, but I don't mean spend as in it's a loss, because
it's gonna come back.
Yeah, and see, I don't even take people's money unless I know I can help them. So
that's how it is. So like when online market, we're going to talk about social media. Like, I want your opinion on this. I know if you feel like if it is gonna, you know what I'm saying, this is information you don't want to put out. Like,
no, go ahead.
Like, ask, so.
Oh, hold up. I think you muted.
But yeah, what do you think is more effective marketing, Facebook or Instagram? Because Instagram, you get up to millions and millions of followers compared to Facebook.
Again, like I said, they both can work. It depends on your purpose. In any strategy, I should say, let me put it. Anything you do, there should be a plan. When we get in the car, we know where we want to go most of the time. There's very rarely that we just hop in the car and want to go for a drive. And if you do, I just drive until the car runs out of gas, whatever. You can do that, but then what happens? So you have to know where you're going and you have to think about how long it's going to take to get there. So again, that's really pretty much the difference between Facebook and IG. They work together because, of course, you know, they're both owned by the same company.
Same company.
Right, but IG, IG is a little more for the quick hits. You know, you have to be a little more precise, in my opinion. Like I said, they both can work. I focus on Facebook advertising to start because I believe that's a perfect middle ground. You know, because Facebook has their hand in everything. You know, you can, if you do video ads or pictures, you can post them to Instagram. Instagram just gives people, I think, a little in this, and let's say in a minute. On Facebook, you may go through 2 or 3 posts, but IG, you know, in a minute you can go through 10 or 12. So I think they work. They work together. They can work separately, but you have to have a strategy. You have to know the benefits of each one. So.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, you gotta be able to strategize, especially like even before you want to, like, before you get on. Even we're gonna go back to the beginning of the business when you thinking about marketing, because I know a lot of people make the mistake of only making products and marketing to their friends and family. Like, it's cool. It's not even cool, because that's not, to me, in my opinion, that's not who you should be focusing on, because, like, I hate to say it, friends and family is not going to make you rich. They're not going to help take your business to the next plateau, because,
Right.
like they always say, it'd be the strangers the one that's going to really support and get you and buy your product. So,
right.
Like you said, come up with a strategy, then figure out, if you find, like for Facebook, if your target audience is on Facebook, because like you said, we see a lot of people who do market on Facebook. But my opinion, I do both, but to me, Instagram give us a little more wiggle room, just because we can reach more people, as far as like people on the higher level.
Right.
And just not focus on your friends and family. Let's give us a broader audience on IG rather than Facebook.
Right. So, well, let me ask you, so with you guys, now, are you talking about, do you do any paid advertising, or are you just talking about, like, with just your posts and, you know, the shares and stuff, the regular stuff on IG?
On Facebook, yes, we have the paid advertising on Facebook, but on IG, we just do regular posting, like reels. They have reels now, so
right,
like you know, Facebook have like reels now too, but on Instagram had it first, so we might put out a reel, might get like reach like 2,000 or 3,000 people in like 2 days, or get a whole bunch of engagements. Like it spreads the podcast quicker on IG than on Facebook.
Exactly, yeah. And that kind of goes back to what I was saying. Like I said, media, because IG was started for, you know, media, you know, music and movie type stuff. Videos were where it started. So yeah, you definitely have that built in. People are more conditioned to videos on that platform. So yeah, they're going to absorb it quicker. But one of the things a lot of people do is they'll start on IG, get people connected, and then they'll send them back to Facebook. You know, and then another thing you can do with that is, if you are getting them to engage or clicking a link on IG, you can connect. It's basically what they call a tracking link. You know, it's like, trying to think of a simple term, but you know how when you push okay, you remember the cartoons with Wile E. Coyote or whatever? He'd light the match and you see it going down the fuse line to the bomb.
Yeah.
And we knew where it was going. He didn't, but you know exactly where it was going back to. You know, so think about it like that. It's like when you light the fuse on IG, it's going to go all the way back, and hopefully it's going to hit the bomb, which is your main ad on Facebook. You can connect them like that. So yeah, you know, it's like you're talking about, hey, you know, We're going to have the podcast, the ultimate podcast of the year. We're going to have this and that person on. If you want to come on live, click this link and, what will get you in. The first 10 people get to share live or whatever, blah, blah, blah. So the link they click takes you back to your full post, you know what I'm saying, the full ad on Facebook, and then the link to sign up. So yeah, that's how they work together. Yeah.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. So my next question is, like, I know you work with, what do you think about companies using like websites as to promote their marketing to? What do you think about websites?
Well, haven't we talked about that a little bit?
Yeah. But like, like a lot of companies just, some companies just like, we got a website, but we're gonna put most of everything on the social media platform instead of the website.
Yeah. No, I'm just making sure because I don't want to say anything different. Now I will say that I look at it like this, and this is the way I learned, and I'm gonna try and go on a little bit about some of the benefits of digital marketing and stuff as well. I look at it as a website as being like, for us around here going to Peachtree Mall. Yeah. You want to look for something. There's a few stores in the mall that carry what you want. And so you're going to go around to each one to maybe see who has the best price or who has a different color or something like that. I look at a website like that. That is like going to the mall. It's a big area. There's a chance you can find what you want, but there's also a high chance that you're going to wander around, click on other stuff, look at other things, and maybe not make a purchase at all. So yeah, websites serve a purpose. Exactly. Yeah. And you know what? I mean, anyway, that goes into, like I said, some other stuff, psychology stuff. That's another reason why I got into this, is when you understand where this started in the 40s and the 30s and the 40s, marketing and stuff like that. It's all psychology, all playing with the mind and stuff. But so and there's a more focused way to do that. It's what you call a landing page or a sales page, where you basically get people, and I think that's what you were talking about. Like I said, website's good for just information purposes, and you may get the occasional sale, but if you want to consistently get sales, that needs to be what your focus is, which in that case, you would use a landing page, or what they call a sales page, or AKA a funnel, a sales funnel. Which is, it's one purpose. People come in at the top, which is wider, and at the bottom comes a sale. So yeah, they both do the same thing. There's actually a company that got started years ago by saying websites are dead. Yeah.
I think I remember that term. I remember a lot of people saying that, but a while ago.
Yep. And it's by a guy who became the master of making sales funnels. He started a whole software platform called ClickFunnels. So yeah, if you mention that around anybody who's spent any time online, who's tried to open a business or has a business online, they probably know about ClickFunnels. And he did that. The guy who started it, Russell Brunson, started it as a way to get people's attention, because everybody's using websites. And then you have that one person coming by, websites are dead. You're going to get some people say, what do you mean? And that's what he did. And he's built, a whole community, and that's something else. I mean, he actually has, books on how to do that. And that's really what entrepreneurs want. And that's what he's worked to give people. He has a whole series, he teaches on that. He has his whole platform. He talks about that, how to give people what they want. And, that's what I'm trying to build. And that's why I'm focusing on our local area now, to help the people closest to me, because those are the ones I can reach quicker. If somebody has a problem, we can jump on a call like this, or maybe meet up for coffee, and we can see what's going on. Can't do that for somebody who works in California, or Texas. It's going to be a while. So I'm trying to work here for that reason, because we're closer. And so
it lead up to my next question. Like, so what are some of the challenges you see as you're doing this? Like, what are some of the challenges you face or have overcome in your journey?
Oh man, you name it. I've dealt with it. I'm dealing with some of it. Some of it I definitely don't want to go through again. Let me see. It started with like you were saying when I started out. I knew I had a great idea. I went and got the business license. I paid for business cards, websites. I was trying to get everybody to sign up and help me do this and do that. I went to everybody who had a business, and we talked. We knew each other. There were some people I went to church with, but I didn't understand exactly what I was doing. They didn't understand what I was doing, and so nothing happened. There's another saying: a confused mind doesn't buy.
Yeah.
Which makes a lot of sense. So
yeah, it sure does. To think about it, yes, exactly.
I'm serious. And so, like I said, I've done that. But then when I realized, and don't get me wrong, I want to say, like we were saying earlier, that family and friends are not the people that are going to buy from you. No, they're not, but they are oftentimes the reason why we started a business.
Yeah, they are.
My mentor says, and I've heard it from him and many other people, said, if you're trying to figure out people to serve, figure out who to serve, think about who you were when you started. Because very often, you know that saying, what is it? Let me see. I can't think of it now, so I'm just gonna stop trying to come up with some quotes and cliches and stuff, man. So it's late.
I know.
So how many times have you been in a situation you're like, I don't like this service, or oh, they don't have this, blah, 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 this is missing, this is lacking. Then what's the next thing we say? Somebody should do something about it.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody needs to fix this. Somebody should tell them that. Somebody should open up competition, blah, blah, blah. And so that's why you have Walmart. That's why you have Amazon. That's why you have Airbnb, Uber, the airlines, they came about because people realized it was faster and, a little, exactly, more convenient than being stuck on a train.
Yeah.
So in general, you have those big moves. And we can go into that, I guess, at a later time, maybe if I come back, talk about and explain, the difference between the big shifts and the small shifts, things like that, like Uber, DoorDash, they were, man, I forgot the word we use in the marketing industry, but they changed things, they shifted things. Uber, for instance, they disruptors. There you go, market disruptors. They disrupted the transportation industry. So you have things like that, those types of moves, and so that's I lost my thought, man, but I think I said
it's
something.
all good. Yeah. I understand what you're saying. Like you said, those, like you saying, those are they disrupted the market. Like same what goes with music, how screens completely wiped out record stores and CDs and all that stuff.
Exactly.
And like like Netflix and wiped out movie rentals. Like I completely understand what you're saying on that.
Yeah, man.
Like to me, like you're saying, it's all like what, like there are a whole bunch of ways to. I'm gonna put it like this: there's a whole bunch of ways to strategize and market, but I think, like you said, you gotta understand where your roots are. Like you said when you first started out, why did I get in this business, or why did I start doing this? Like
exactly.
Y'all got that stuff. Well, you gotta stay connected to your core some kind of way.
And then stick with it. That's again when we start. I appreciate it. Yeah, you brought me back. We our family and friends are the reason we started. Ben Carson would not have had that movie made about him if his brother didn't. I think his brother got killed or something, right? A lot of doctors, a lot of scientists had tragedies happen in their life that pushed them into medicine, that pushed them into doing the research. So now the research obviously didn't benefit those people that they lost, or maybe even the people in their immediate family, but it opened doors for other people.
Yes, it did.
Right. So, we have to think about that. But yeah, you're definitely right. Finding the people you serve and going back to where you started can be a great way to do that and to find your niche. And it could happen that it might be family, but they may never admit it. But and that's the beautiful thing about digital marketing. Thinking that leads me right into my next point. You could take that person, everything that describes your cousin or whoever it was that was your reason for starting your business. You can put a lot of that information online on Facebook, tell Facebook to look for those people, and Facebook will do it for you.
Yeah, you're right. With algorithm, that's like using the algorithm. Like,
I do
right.
the algorithm. Yeah, man.
Algorithm. Yeah.
Like, do you spell it with a Y or an I? I get mixed up. Yeah. But exactly, you are right. And see, that's another thing people forget. Facebook is a marketing platform. That is what it is first and foremost. That's the reason why we get on free.
Yeah.
They collect more data on users than any other platform besides Google. You were talking about the next level. I was going to ask you earlier when you said you were talking about the people on IG, on the next level. I was going to ask, were you talking about like what, income wise, or just people who are more interested in podcasts?
Pretty much, like, say for instance, like either celebrities or like people with a status, like people with status, they mostly use IG. Two apps they mostly use IG and Twitter. So that's why I was just speaking from that aspect.
Okay. Well, think about this. 80% of Facebook users have incomes over $100,000.
Yeah. All right.
So I actually think the people you want to reach are going to be on Facebook, because and this is another thing my mentor taught us. You don't go directly at the celebrity, because the celebrity doesn't manage their accounts. They pay somebody.
Yeah, they pay somebody, man.
So if you go directly to that manager who is on Facebook, who is more likely to check their information, then you're going to get in front of that celebrity, because the manager is the one who dictates their schedule.
Yeah, because like they they're in control of everything. They seize everything.
So that's what I would do is start your posts on IG, use the free strategy, and then you can retarget those people, or you can, like I said, send them to the ad or the form for your event or whatever on Facebook. That's the paid ad, or send them to your page. Yeah, there's a whole process. Like I said, I can map it out for you, but it would start with the IG. Then they would go back to Facebook. Then they would engage with the post or take whatever action you want them to take, fill out a survey form or whatever. Then once you get their information, then you can retarget them from Facebook with another ad on Facebook.
Yeah.
And then have that follow them everywhere.
Yeah, that's a good strategy. Yeah, that leads into my next question. Do you think, I've seen a lot of people saying, are the paid advertising on Facebook worth it?
Yeah.
They worth the cost.
Yeah. Well, like I said, again, anything's worth it if you know how to use it. Another thing I've come to realize is how much marketing. Who's been to the club? Everybody who's been to the club, raise your hand. Think about it. When's the last time you went? Yeah, it's been a while. But think about it. Okay, so when did you go? This back to my point. You knew why you were going, where you were going, what time you were planning to be there. You knew all that stuff. You were prepared. If you're going to have fun, and I know women go through this more often because, again, they go through so much to get ready, their hair and stuff like that. But how many of your girlfriends or, your sister, your aunt, or whoever, oh, I'm not getting dressed up tonight because I'm going to have fun. I'm going to dance. I'm only going to sweat it out, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Same thing with the fellas. When you have an idea when you're going to stand on the wall, what you're gonna wear, or if you're gonna go out there and hang out, have fun, get sweaty or whatever. You know what cologne you're gonna wear. You know, you'll wear one cologne when you trying to pull somebody, and you won't wear the cologne when you just want to hang out with the fellas. So marketing is the same way. Marketing is about making yourself attractive to the right person. It's not, when we went to the club, when you go out, you don't try to reach everybody. You don't try to hang out with everybody. You don't try to talk to everybody. You have your audience, right?
Yeah, you have your preference. Yeah, you're right.
Exactly. Sometimes you came with them, sometimes you plan on leaving with them. And marketing is no different. You know, you find your audience, you know, you tell them why you're better.
Yeah.
And then, you know, and then it's up to you to prove that. And so if you can do that in your advertising, you'll make money. A point I like to make, and I heard this a few times myself before I actually got it, but think about it. Facebook makes money when you make more money. So their job is not really to take your money.
To recycle it. Real.
Exactly. So they want to help get you paid, because the more beneficial it is, if you can put in $1 and get back $3, what are you going to do next time?
You're gonna put more money in.
Exactly. So it's learning how to use the system. And like I said, in very rare cases, people can figure it out on their own, but you know, that's why you come to a specialist. Again, you're not going to try and fix your own broken arm or you know, sew up your own wound. You're going to go to the doctor, you know. But yeah, in most cases, pretty much what I tell people with that is, first off, you have to wait at least 72 hours for your Facebook ads to run, at least 72 hours. And then make sure you have a targeted audience. Make sure the message speaks to them, you know, and make sure what you're offering them is something that they can say, you know, yeah, I need this. Yeah, I see why I need this. You know, if you can do that, and I have a whole training on that, man. You know, I talk about that. That's actually one of the, matter of fact, that's, I think, the first thing I shared with you. I think what was that guide I put together to help people do that, figure out how to reach their people online.
Yeah, and that's why I call this effective marketing. Like you said, a lot of people just go out here, I'm just post, and hopefully I get a hit. My last question for you, like, what do you think about the tag 1 million people strategy?
Don't do it. And see, that's another thing, like you were saying about the Facebook algorithm, man. There are people who all they are paid to do is monitor the algorithm. I'm talking about in marketing companies. If you look at there's and I'm gonna leave some names for people to check out. Neil Patel. I don't know how long we're gonna stay on, but I'm gonna give this to him right now. Neil Patel. Neil Patel. HubSpot is another one. Those are two right there. If you start searching for those two, you'll find all the others. But those are two of the bigger brands. He's actually, again, was a marketer, digital marketer, and he has a huge company. He does a lot of research, analytics, and analysis. And so they have people who all they do is, all these people are paid for is to watch the algorithm, check for changes, and see how the change Facebook made on Monday, how it's going to impact our business by Friday. And then they put that information out there because, like you said, when you tag 1 million people, okay, let's say you have 100 people and they literally tag 1 million people. That's 100 million people that have been tagged. And if only 1% of those, and again, I know I'm throwing out a lot of figures and stuff, but if only, let's say, 10,000 of those people, out of all those people tagged, engage with those posts that they were tagged in, that means all the rest either said no, they clicked it as spam, or they just ignored it, which isn't good.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking too, because when you tag those many people, a lot of times they are spamming it, or you're going to get shadow banned, because like it hides your post more than it promotes your post when you tag a bunch of people, in my opinion.
Right. And see, people call it shadow banning. I get it, but okay, what it is again? Facebook gets paid. Remember, they're a marketing platform. They are an advertising platform. So it's like stores. Okay, there's a reason why the malls are pretty warm because they want you to stay.
Yep.
But food places, they got that AC cranked. I don't care if it's the middle of January because they want you to get up and out.
Eat and leave.
Exactly. Facebook's the same way. They want it to be warm and welcoming. They want you to stay for hours. So if somebody's nagging you, if somebody's posting stuff and constantly tagging you and it's not something you're interested in, what ends up happening is they put your posts at the bottom of, your posts are last to see. So that's where engagement comes in. And again, like back to what you were saying very early on, it's better to have 10 friends and 9 of them are engaged than have 1,000 friends and 9 of them are engaged. And Facebook looks at it the same way. They don't look at the number. They look at, like you said, the percent, the quantity, the quality of the quantity. So that's what it's about. It's better to have, in this case of social media, Facebook, if I can leave your guests with any thought, if I could leave them with any thought, it would be on social media, especially Facebook, less is more. Less people, more engaged is more beneficial than having more people who are less engaged. That doesn't matter if it's your profile, your business page, or especially your Facebook group, because that's what their big push is now. Facebook's trying to, push groups and stuff.
That's a great way to end it off. Man. Before we get up out of here, let's go and give everybody your tags and your plugs. Plug yourself in.
Man, I again, that's the other thing I'm bad on. So y'all can just hit me up on Facebook if you're interested. Jason Stubbs. I'm friends with Travis. You can connect with him for me, or vice versa. You can also go to, let me see if this link works, because I was updating it. It should be. And see, this is another thing. So this is another point, guys. I tell people what to do and what not to do. Matter of fact, go to 3waystoshine.com and you can actually download that free guide that I created. It's called the Local Business Owners Essential Guide to Get More Attention. It's a simple process, a very simple guide that you see. Man, I'm
it's all right.
No, and you know what? You can keep this in the show because again, this is an example of not being prepared. But I take the good with the bad. So, but yeah. They can go to 3waystoshine.com. When is this going up?
Next week.
Oh, okay. So I got time to fix the website. So like I said, you can get with me on Facebook, Jason Stubbs. I'm friends with Travis, or you can go to 3waystoshine.com to download the free essential guide, the Local Business Owners Essential Guide to Get More Attention. It's a simple 3-step strategy to help you stand out above your competition and get more visibility, because with visibility comes sales. And I feel that leads and sales are greater than likes and shares. I got a couple of those too I'm working on. So, but anyway, that's pretty much it for me, I think. Unless there's something else you want to ask, man. Hey, I'm here.
Nah, that was a great way to how you ended off on the people like to overdo it. Not less is better. Like, again, man, I know we always talk. I want to thank you for joining the platform tonight and giving your expertise on strategy, marketing, and all that good stuff.
I appreciate it. Yeah, man. Like I said, I'm here. And yeah, like I said, I mean, y'all need to be getting y'all's offers together. I'm gonna send you a link to an article I just found. They were actually talking about how podcast advertising is taking off, man. Yeah, man. Y'all should be charging Well, I don't know if you're gonna put this on there or not, but yeah, man, I
Yeah,
definitely.
man, we're gonna leave everything in. Everything.
Okay, well, hey, well, I'll tell you like this: y'all better get with Travis before they start booking for $2,500 a slot, because that's another thing I don't believe in is being the cheapest. You know, nobody remembers the cheapest.
No, that's why people remember Louis Vuitton and Gucci. That's why they so hot.
Exactly, and they don't have a shortage. People wait much for them. That's why I said Lamborghini.
Yeah.
You know, everybody knows Lamborghini, but they don't know some of the other brands that are more exclusive than Lamborghini, and they still have a 2 to 3 year wait. Yeah, man.
Like you said, yeah, boys, yeah. Like again, man, on the behalf of my co-host, we thank you for coming on, and we must do this again, man. We got a lot more to discuss.
That's fine. Hey, and bring everybody on. Tell them to come with their questions, man. I love a challenge. I love engagement and debate. You know, because and that's the reason why, like I said, why the challenge strategy works, because you have different people trying to figure out the same thing. So you have different people asking the same question from different angles and stuff. So yeah, man, if anybody else wants to come on and ask their questions, bring them. I'm here.
All right. Most definitely gonna have everybody back next time, man. Again, man, I want to thank you for your time, man, and all your great points.
Appreciate it, Travis, man. Talk to you later.
All right.
All right. Good night.
Good night.